If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello, welcome to another... I've got to stop doing that. Welcome to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. I was editing podcasts the other day and I thought literally every time I start with the same sentence. So, hiya. This is another mini Monday episode and it is, I believe, the 9th of January. The reason why I'm unsure is because I am being a real prepared Paula and having all my podcasts ready to go over the Christmas holidays, because for the first time, definitely since I've become self-employed, I'm having a full 3 weeks off. Already I'm thinking, oh, that's a fun job to do for the business. I'll do that in my weeks off. But on the whole, I'm not doing any work for 3 weeks, which blows my mind that I'm able to just tell myself that I can have 3 weeks off. But I do absolutely adore my work. So it's going to be tough to stay away from it. But at the minute, I am near the point where I've done with my working hours. I want to sit and eat crisps. But I've realised that I was recording and getting everything done. And then I decided I was not going to come back to work until the 9th of January. And then I saw Mini Monday for the 9th of January. Not recorded. So here I am recording it. But today, the topic of today's Mini Monday is that I want you to, like last week was about the goals and where you want to be in a year. But for 2023, I want you to think about how you want to feel. And that's a bit, I don't know whether, as many people as possible actually focus on how you want to feel. Mainly it's about what can we get? Where do I want to be? But how do you want to feel when you get there? And those feelings you can create out of nothing. You can feel like you're already there. This is a little bit woo, by the way, everybody. But I love doing this because you can feel where you want to be and feel those feelings, and it's like you're already there. And then all your processes end up going that way. So I want you to imagine your ideal self right now. How does that person feel when they wake up? Maybe it's tough at first. Like my ideal self, I can't imagine my ideal self in the future still, is able to just jump out of bed and not have to do that work to get rid of those negative thoughts. It's something I have to do every single day. So worth the work. So worth the work. And just as a side note, I had somebody else say to me the other day, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do the podcast, the Vivid Club, Vivid Wire. You're a mum. Mind you, I've got one child, but, run a house, blah, blah, blah. Well, I have a beautiful cleaner. That helps. Stuff like that. How do you do it all? And I get up early. And it's not for everybody. Definitely isn't for everyone. But if you really want to make a difference to how you feel on a daily basis and how you approach your day, how you are as yourself, a parent, a partner, a friend, a work colleague, all of those things, if you want to change that, you've got to actually decide to change something. And I never used to. I used to snooze the alarm. I used to get up late. I used to be really grumpy. I used to moan. I used to be really depressed. I used to drink a lot because I was the life and soul of the party. And on days when I didn't feel like that, I would drink to the point where I was just really, really drunk. And I would say a lot of the time, sleep when you're dead. And it was just a cover up from actually how I was feeling. And I do need, one of the plans for a future podcast is talking about that. But I knew that if I wanted to feel different, if I wanted those days when I wasn't having a drink and I was on my own, and I wanted those days to feel okay, I needed to change. Simple as that. No one's going to come and do it for you. So if you want to feel different about your day and you want to go into a day thinking, God, I feel like, oh, my kid's just refused to put his shoes on. I have space in my brain to not shout at him. If you want that to change, that's a simple thing, then you got to change something. Simple. There's no beating about. It does not magic itself into existence, these feelings. You have to make space for it. So, you know, almost, when did I start getting up early? 3, 4 years ago. Changed my life. And it has. I get up before everybody else. Um, it's, I mean, I do that probably 4 to 5 days a week, but I used to have to do it 7 days a week because you sort of have to like build up your load. That sounds a bit weird. But you have to build up sort of like that sort of what am I trying to say? Like your reserves. That's it. You build up your reserves. So I have reserves all the time now, but I do it about 4 to 5 days a week. I have a little spot that I use in the morning. I get up, don't snooze the alarm, straight in the shower, get out, sit in my towel and dressing gown, and I do my writing. I don't even have a coffee now. I've managed to do that because there's science about not having caffeine for the first hour of your day makes a massive difference as well. But that's an issue. That's something for another podcast because you can't do all of this in one go as well. It's layers. It's a habit lasagna. You have to layer it up gradually. Otherwise, you'll just fail. And that's what I had to do. Like the first thing that I started doing was moving. So I would try and go for a walk, even if it was 5 minutes every day. Then I started listening to my favourite songs in the same row. So I did the fun stuff first. Then I started writing. No, I probably started wearing lipstick first. Then I started writing. Writing was the toughest one. It's the best one, though. That's what's changed the most. But I can sort of play out, like if I'm sitting there writing and I feel like shit, there's no other better word for it. And often, in the morning I do feel like shit. I'm really like Clara, my imposter syndrome is really loud. She's right bitch face. And I sit there and I go, right, okay, let's write down why am I being so horrible to myself? Or why is Clara being so horrible? Work through all of that. And then I write it down and it's out of my head. And then I go, right, what do I want to achieve today? What am I supposed to be doing today? Oh, I feel a little bit overwhelmed. Sort that out and, do a little to-do list, look at my calendar. So this is the point where I usually get my phone. So I have a bit of time before I've even looked at my phone. My phones are downstairs now. I don't sleep with them in the same room. And then and then I can, and the reason I do that is because I like to focus on just being myself or just being a mum before I'm everything else. And I'm just such a better person for doing that. If I sort of, focus on one thing at a time, I don't believe in multitasking anymore. And then, and I just focus on how I want to feel that day. And I also think about how, if, for example, I'm going to see anybody, if I'm going to have meetings with my clients, I've got quite a lot of clients now. And I've got the Vivid Club membership and the Ladies on Project Warrior Boss, which, nearly forgot to say, spaces are open for the January cohort. I've already booked 2 spaces. Today is the 16th of December. 2 spaces have already gone. There's only 4 left. So if you're listening to this on the 9th of January, they might have already gone. But we start on the 23rd of January. And so I've got all of those clients. When I have meetings with them, I have to show up as my best self. They deserve that. There's no wiggle room for that. If I don't show up as my best self, I'm letting them down. So I show up as my best self and I have to do the work to do that. But do you know who wants me to show up my best self and how I want to feel? I want to feel powerful, empowered, strong, motivated, inspired. I want to feel clever, funny. I want to feel funny. I want to feel loved. I want to feel, I want to feel all these things. And I want everybody that I come into contact on the day to feel the same thing. So I make the space for that. But I think about how those feelings feel before I go into my day. And so then I'm buzzing by the time my husband wakes up. He's like, get out of my face. You are too hyperactive. I'm like, yeah, but look, it's a Tuesday, babe. It's a freaking Tuesday. How do you want to feel today? He's like, I just want to be awake. He's still not on the bandwagon. You think about how many hours he spends with me and he's not on the bandwagon. I think he just stops listening. I'm like, he's just drowned it out. He's just like, I said to him, do you fancy creating a warrior energy toolkit? He's like, can I think about it? Yeah. Yeah, trauma-informed approach is all about giving you space and choice. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm an expert. Sorry, babe, sorry. I'm going to be out him over Christmas, though. Obviously, I'm recording this before Christmas. Anyway, I digress. Have I made my point? For 2023, I want you to focus on how you want to feel and start feeling those feelings. And if you can't, change something, change your day, give yourself some extra space in the morning to do that. You don't have to do it in the morning, but to start your day, it probably is a good idea. But have choice. You don't have to do it before the kids wake up. Maybe you can find your lunch hour if you're working to do it. But find that space for you to increase your capacity to be the best version of yourself as possible before the day's shit hits you in the face. There you go. If you like this episode, please subscribe and share. Tell everyone you know about it. Send them in a WhatsApp. Go on, just if you listen to this, send it to 5 friends and go, oh, there's this bird Claire that I listened to. She's got this mini Monday episode talking all about how to feel in 2023. Give it a go. If you liked it, of course. But if not, fine. I am recording these on YouTube. This one isn't a video because it's an ad hoc recording me sitting on the sofa doing it through my phone. But there are going to be more videos on YouTube. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the podcast. And if any of my words help at all, just spending 10 seconds sharing it to someone makes such a difference. It really, really does. All right. Have an amazing week. Speak to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.